JG Invest here. So today we're going to be doing some talk points on CMC. We'll be talking about all the specific dates of what to expect. When we talked about CMC, we did say it's a long hold, obviously, especially in the updated video. And then we had expectations of beginning of June that we would see a big spike, and a lot of this information is kind of relaying to that. We also noticed that the stock's been stuck around like that 80 cent to a dollar mark for a while. That's obviously due to the warrants that are in place. The warrants, I think they had warrants at like 25 cents, 50 cents, so on and so forth. Now, it's a good news that they're accelerating these warrants and getting them out of the way at these current price points, rather than having a higher price point on the stock, and then we still have these outstanding warrants. I don't think this is being done by accident. Cielo definitely wanted to get these warrants out of the way for a reason. And I think a lot of these dates that you see here will match up to that. Warrants are supposed to be done as of May. And you'll notice end of April, there's a lot of news coming out. May, there's a lot of ramping up, specifically the TSXV getting listed on there. So we'll go over point by point, and that will kind of give you a range of what to expect and when to see some spikes on this stock price. So for the first 2 points, they just released saying soon. First one says news about the site for the Edmonton facility. My expectations are probably just when they're going to be breaking ground on it. Their expectation, their target was for beginning of June. Let's see if they can manage to keep up on that one. Big one is the announcement of the US facility. That's big. Expanding into the US really holds a lot of credit. And the stock's not even listed on the TSX yet. So that's big. End of April, desulfurization equipment installed and operational at their main facility. April 30th, year event statement. Now, this year event statement should show that the Cielo is completely debt-free. And with the huge expansion they have in place to be completely debt-free, that's huge. Around May is when they're listing on the TSXV. Earliest is May 9th. The REUI enter a definite agreement to build Manitoba, British Columbia, and the US location. That is a big point. And then before we continue, do me a favor, guys, click the subscribe button and hit the like button. This is obviously one of our main stocks in the Discord, and we'll continuously be doing updates on this one. Today, like we mentioned, is just some talking points on dates to watch out for. Mid-June, production of low sulfur diesel for sale. So last month, they were dealing with the sulfur issue in the biodiesel out of the University of Calgary. The expectation was supposed, I can't remember off the top of my head, it's in my previous video on the update video, but I know they beat the expectation targets and got the sulfur way down. Let's take a look. So they're getting that in place. Desulfurization equipment commissioned by mid-May. Mid-June is production of low sulfur diesel for sale. So everything's kind of just been ramping up and playing. So they got the tests done, they hit the targets, they beat the targets, and now they're already in the process of getting equipment installed and having the sales in place, or that product for sale. Q2 of 2021, Dunmore, they break ground on facility. August, commissioning on expansion of 2,000 liters an hour. That is a huge point, and I'm expecting a big spike leading up to that one, because a lot of their joint ventures that they have in place are solely based on how many liters they can produce per hour. They have, I think it was 3 joint ventures that immediately close as soon as they hit 500 liters an hour. And the company said right off the bat that they're not concerned at hitting that target at all. So at 2,000 liters an hour, we're completely locked up, we're completely sealed up on the joint ventures, and we don't have to worry about anything. Q4 of 2021, break ground on facility, Grand Prairie. Q2 of 2022, Q4 of 2021, and then Q2 of 2022 is the Edmonton break ground on facility. Q2 of 2022 is Calgary break ground on facility. August of 2022 is Dunmore commissioning of facility. Q4 of 2022, Grand Prairie commissioning of facility. And then these last 3 points are still unknown. Edmonton commissioning of facility, positive cash flow. And in the previous video, we mentioned that Edmonton's target is supposed to be around 55 million annual revenue year over year. And that's huge. And we'll go into the joint ventures right at the end of this video. I know we've already covered them and explained them, but just for the people that are coming in now, we'll cover those. The next point is Calgary commissioning a facility. And then the last point is get certificate to use all 7 types of plastics for refining. That is also really big because they've been stockpiling on feed. And by being allowed to use all different types of plastics is huge. It also opens the gate to a lot more feed for production. Joint ventures, cash flow positive. The revenue stream, I think, is like 7% per facility. It hasn't cost the company any money to do these facilities. They took the loan last month. They increased their loan from $1 million to $10 million, paid off all debts, paid off any type of outstanding issues with it. Company has just been setting up everything perfectly, and which is why I mentioned at the beginning of this video, those warrants that everyone was concerned about, and that's what's holding the stock down for now. They wanted those out of the way before all of these catalysts come out. You don't want having big news of catalysts like this coming out with warrants that are still in the way. So they want to get those out of the way, and they just want to focus on continuation of ramping up when they get to this point. So they've been very, very smart as far as like strategizing, planning the dates, negotiating these joint ventures, not having to spend a dime. The patent on the technology is huge. The fact that they got the US location and they've kept that pretty tight-lipped on the location is also great. It's also going to cause a lot of people from the US to look at the stock, which right now, if you think about it, there's not a lot of people looking at this stock. They're not even on the TSXV yet. They're not even on the TSX. There's not a lot of people looking at this stock. And by being in the US as well, definitely going to attract some attention. And I think as more and more people start looking at this stock, we're going to see huge ramp ups. So conservatively, we're still at a 5x. I know on Bloomberg's video, they mentioned that they were going to get 8x very easily. So $8 a share. And that was a conservative statement. So they're aiming more for like that $12 range. We're being conservative. We're saying at 5. Once we hit the 5, I think by, I want to say Q1 is probably where we're going to be at that target. Really depends on just the amount of motivation. The 2,000 liters an hour in August really could cause a huge ramp up way faster than we've expected. So we might be at that 5x mark a lot earlier than we thought. If we look at Gevo as an example, Gevo ramped up in no time, and their production in comparison to this company is nowhere near the same. And the fact that their finished product takes way longer to get in comparison, and it's a higher cost. So I think a lot of people that were interested in Gevo are now looking at this, or if they haven't been looking at it, they will be looking at it. So those are all the points. Those are all the dates that we got so far, guys. That's the update for when to be watching out. Make sure not to be selling or swinging the stock. We've told Discord members multiple times not to be swinging the stock. Couple people managed to get back in. A lot of people ended up selling and then it ramping up on them. I think from here forward, we're pretty safe to just hold. Even if Nasdaq does hit a double top and we see a dip like a lot of people are predicting, it's fine. Last time the stock only ran down to, I think it was like 67 cents during the huge pullback that happened on Nasdaq. So it's not a huge run from 84 cents to that point. Now, if anything, it's just a great advantage to buy up more shares, really. So that's everything in a nutshell. Those are all the catalysts. They've been streamlining this. They've accelerated the warrants for a reason. A lot of people see the warrants as bad. I see this as really good news solely because that they're getting it out of the way. And now that I've seen the catalysts and the date structure, it makes a lot more sense. Okay, guys. So thanks for coming back. That's the update, and we'll talk to you guys soon.